Hello, I'm Peter Aziz, a shaman and healer with over 40 years experience. I want to talk today about exactly how a release of emotions and traumas can heal our body and solve many of our problems. You hear so much in the new age about people who want to release their emotions in order to heal, but how exactly does this work? Does it really work? To describe how this works, I need to go into the structure of DNA and the endocrine system, to look at the process by which thoughts get stored in the body. Every experience we have, every strong emotion, is like a signal that goes through all our DNA, like an electrical signal. Now, when we actually experience something fully, and we really feel it fully without any resistance, it passes across the brain through an area called the corpus callosum. This is the shape of a Mobius strip. That's a strip that's kind of coiled back on itself, which means the wave going through it will go through a 180-degree phase change and cancel out the wave stored in the coil. So you see this wave that's stored in the coil, because it's not going anywhere, is what we call a scalar wave. You hear a lot about those. A scalar wave is simply one which there's no direction. It doesn't go anywhere. Once this wave has been cancelled out by the fully experiencing it, it's no longer there. Which means basically once you've fully experienced something, it's not stored anymore. Quite simple, really, isn't it? However, when this wave is stored in the coil, because it's an electrical impulse, it starts to form a crystal or a melanin protein complex. This is like an organic computer chip that's full of stored memory. Naturally, these crystals within the DNA affect its function. This is where problems with health start. So you look at the holographic nature of the body, as the emotions go through different levels of the DNA, they also go to the different endocrine glands. We generally suppress our emotions in stages. When you experience everything with enthusiasm, there's no resistance. The word enthusiasm just comes from the word God in you. When you're fully with enthusiasm, life force is fully present, there's no resistance. Anything less than enthusiasm, you begin to resist. When you're in pain, you're resisting things other than you want them to be. The pain can be stored in the pituitary gland and the next level of the DNA. When you get tired of the pain, you get angry because you want to change things. The anger is as a motivator, but once it's stored up, it's into store in the thyroid gland. When you get tired of the anger, you go into fear. You're afraid it'll never change. You're afraid about what the future's going to be. This is stored in the thymus gland. When you suppress the fear, you go into this victim pattern, just in grief, fussing about how things are so bad, nothing's going to change. This goes to the solar plexus, pancreas, and adrenal gland. When you finally push that down, you go into apathy. You're hardly even aware of what the problem was, you just can't be bothered to do anything. Nothing's going to work. And finally push you to unconsciousness, where you've numbed out totally and no longer aware of the problem. So naturally, because these emotions are stored in the glands, they're going to affect their function. So for instance, the unconsciousness in the gonads takes away your general energy and sex drive. And when the sex drive is gone, your motivation, your drive also lowered. When it goes to the spleen is responsible for building blood as well as the immune system, aspects of it anyway. So when that's weak, you get anemic, the digestion is sluggish, and therefore you get problems from the sluggishness where organs are getting blocked. With the solar plexus, well, obviously it's to do with the emotional response, but also the pancreas is important here. That also stores the grief. This produces enzymes that break down all the old cells. And that's not working if more growths and tumors and things. Thymus gland restores fear, but also a certain level of shame, is what controls the immune system. Therefore, the stored fear is weakening your immune system. The thyroid gland storing the anger affects the calcification in the bones and the joints. Therefore, when this is blocked, you get things like rheumatism and arthritis. Now, the pituitary gland has an unknown function, which not people are aware of, that it can actually rebuild nerve pathways to paralyzed areas of the body. As long as you're not experiencing the pain, it's still dead. When you're willing to experience the pain, it comes back to life. That's how it works. So healing the pituitary gland and releasing stored pain could actually restore life to paralyzed areas of the body. Of course, when we clear the pineal gland to release the enthusiasm, you restore your full positive feeling and connection to the universe, where you feel able to take any challenge. So you can see the emotions we store are affecting our body. All our physical problems are linked to these stored emotions. Now, on my upcoming Ultimate Healing webinar, we're going to be describing in more detail how this works. I'll be giving you solutions of actually how we work on releasing these emotions and therefore achieving this healing. But not only does it heal the physical problems, it makes you more aware of how to go through problems in your life, the challenges. As you release the fear and the anger of all these hopeless and so on, you're more able to function and create what you want. We're going to work also on how to create the life you want and how to discreate what you don't want. This is also part of this process of actually releasing old emotions so you can free up your creative power. So doing this simple process, and by being committed to it and keep growing, you can master your whole life, heal your body, create the life you want, discreate your problems. If you want to go further, sign up to this webinar because I'll be looking forward to guiding you further.